The third lesson for today will be know your asset. Do you know your asset? Elisha asked the woman, what do you have at home? Then she replied, I have nothing. Then she finally said something positive. She said, except for a jar of oil that she had. That is, she didn't even see the jars of oil as something that could be an asset. The fact that you are alive is an asset. The fact that you are living, the fact you can walk for several hours, like 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours. You can walk from one place to another is an asset. Do you know that your phone is an asset? A lot of us don't know that our phone is an asset. Some of us just use our phone for social media. You don't know that social media, you can actually use it to buy and sell. Your life is an asset. For the fact that you are living, that is an asset. Look inward. What's that asset you have? Your gift is an asset. Is it that type of gift that could just make people feel at home? There are some people, people always want to be around them because they make people feel at ease. They make people feel at home. Do you know even that some people are even paid just to be with people? Look at your gift. Look inwardly. What is that thing that you don't even see it as an asset, but every other person sees it as an asset? Then the second one we'll be looking at is have a good relationship with people. Who would have known that Prophet Elisha would have told the Shunammite widow to go and borrow jars of oil from her neighbors? He didn't ask her to go to the social media to borrow. He didn't ask her to go to the bank. He didn't ask her to go to people that she doesn't know or stand on the streets. Anybody you see or the first person that you see is your helper. No. He told her to go and meet the people that she knew, her neighbors. Imagine if she didn't have a good relationship with her neighbors. Would she have the mind to go and borrow from them? Don't look down on anybody. You don't know tomorrow. Tomorrow you might be asked to go. Someone might be your help, and don't make it look seem in a way that you can't approach the person for help. Have a good relationship with everyone around you. Then the third one we'll be looking at is be humble enough to ask for help. There will be a time in your life where you can't do it all alone. You need help. And sometimes we don't want to ask for help from people because we feel we don't want people to know how weak we are. We don't want anyone to know our weaknesses, where we are broken. But sometimes it's good to ask for help. The first place where the Shunammite woman asked for help was going to meet Elisha first. Then the second place again was Elisha telling her to go and borrow from her neighbors. If that was you, would you go and borrow? Would you have the courage to ask people for help? Know this, there will be a time in your life where you will need people's help. So our third, the lesson we learned earlier was having a good relationship with people. If you don't have good relationship with people, you can't even look at people's face to ask them for help, because first of all, you are not in good terms with them. Please make sure you are humble enough. Some people commit suicide not because there are not people to help them, but because they are so proud that they can't ask for help. I'm not saying you should go around begging or you should go around seeking help, but there are some times in your life whereby you need people's help. So please, let's be humble. Let's be humble. We can't do everything by ourselves. Then this sixth lesson is follow instructions. Let me say this. Have any one of us ever at this point in our time, in our life, where we took an exam and we finished the exam before we even read the instruction? I'll raise up my hand. I've been in that situation before. The Shunammite woman listened to instructions. Do you want to get out of debt? You have to follow instructions. What is there by telling her to go and borrow, then to lock the door, and to now take the jar of oil and to fill it in the other jar of oil? It's not logical. Like, seriously, me myself, I'll just reason, is this man trying to mock me? But Elisha knows more than her. She knew that he knows more than her. She knew he had a relationship with God. That was why she went to meet him for help. And for the fact that she went to meet him for help, she was ready to listen to instructions. So do you listen to instruction? If you want to be successful in life, you have to follow instructions. You have to follow instructions. Then the last lesson we will be talking about is, don't forget your Elisha. Verse 6. After Elisha had given her instruction, borrow this and that, then lock yourself up in the room with your sons, then start pouring the oil. Then she filled all the jars with oil. Somebody else would have said, it has worked. It has worked. Let me start selling the oil. Let's forget about Elisha. But she went back to Elisha to tell him this was the outcome of what happened. Many of us forget our Elishas. People have helped us in the past and we forget about them. Don't forget your Elisha. And surprisingly, Elisha still had an instruction for her even when she came back to meet him. He told her to go and sell, then use the rest to feed herself and her children. She would just have believed that, okay, the oil was just for her to maybe give the debtor, or she might not even know what to use the oil to do, or she might just be confused, not know what to use it to do. But he gave her an instruction again, go and sell the oil. He knew that there will be much more for her to be able to use when for her and her children. So please, if you have the habit of forgetting your Elisha, this is Nigeria, where if someone help a person, that's the end of, you've gotten what you want, the person leaves. Make sure you don't forget your Elisha. Your Elisha is that person who has actually helped you one time or the other. Still keep in touch. Then if you want to read more, you want to get more information about my